All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode on What the Sheet. And in today's episode, we're going to be testing my Skil inflator versus my Milwaukee inflator. They're both 12 volt inflators. They both have a 2 amp hour battery in it. The Skil battery slides in the back here. They're roughly the same size. The Skil is a little bit wider than the Milwaukee, but the Milwaukee is a little bit deeper this way, just because of the handle and the hose wraps around on the back versus the Skil wraps around on the side. Other than that, the features are all the same. Central power button. You can also adjust the PSI with a plus or minus on either side, and it goes up by 1 PSI, or if you hold, it'll go up rapidly on both. So you got similar features there, and then to inflate or deflate, or to inflate with the Skil, it's a play pause button that you would see on your music player, whatever. Versus the Milwaukee, it's got actually like a inflator symbol. Looking at the back or on the side here for the Skil, it's got 3 other attachments. So you have an adapter to, I think, get it to a smaller size stem. You have like a basketball or soccer ball inflator, and then you have this nozzle, which would be good for like pool floaties. And then going on to the Milwaukee, you have the same features. So you got your ball inflator, you got the different adapter for different size stems, and then the like I said, the pool inflator floaty. So the kind of the main difference, if you want to call it that, between these two is how they connect to the tire stem on your car, which is going to be usually what you use this for, or even like your bicycle tires for your bike or your kids' bikes or something like that. So I'll show you the Skil's connection and then the Milwaukee's connection. So with the Skil, it has kind of a quick connect feature. So you just put this on the stem, clamp that down, and then it holds it on in place. So this goes on and off pretty easy. You're not going to lose a lot of air attaching and detaching this from the tire. Versus the Milwaukee. Oops. So the Milwaukee, it has a threaded piece that just spins onto the threads of the tire stem. So it's more secure than the Skil. So it's going to be more secure than this guy. However, when you're attaching and detaching this, you kind of got to be quick on your feet to get it on and off. If you're wanting to get your tire pressures pretty close to exact, just because as you're loosening this, there's a second, or as you're tightening or loosening, there's a moment where you're losing air while this is still attached. So what I found is I just try and unscrew this as fast as I can. I haven't noticed that you lose more than a pound of pressure after you filled it up. So these are my old truck tires, and I was using my Milwaukee to fill up the tires when they were low, and I would charge them up to 40 pounds. And when I would detach this, I wasn't noticing that I was losing any extra tire pressure when I would drive the truck, and it would show me on my dash. So what I'm going to do is both these tires, I drained all the air out of them, so they both register at 0 PSI, or they're not registering on the gauges on either one of these. And we're going to go up to 40 pounds. So that's what these are rated for. And like I said, they each have 2 amp hour batteries. They're both fully charged. They're both 12 volts, 12 volt tools. So it's about as even as comparison as you could possibly get. And even they're roughly almost identical in size. So I'm going to put these back on and then power them up, set them up to 40 PSI. And then we'll just see which one gets done first. Okay, so The Milwaukee cut out first, with the low battery light indicating here. The inflator itself is pretty warm. It's kind of be expected with it running for probably 15-20 minutes. And it got pretty close on a 2 amp hour battery to fill in this tire up, which is more than enough to drive 37.5 psi, pretty close to the 40, which is the max psi in this tire. The Skil ran longer, but let's see if we can't reset it here. So the Skil was able to get to 35.5 psi. The Milwaukee was able to inflate faster and get closer to that target of 40 on a 2 amp hour battery. The Skil, however, did run a little bit longer, albeit a little bit slower. I would be kind of interested to see how well these do at inflating from, let's say, like 30 psi up to 40, and how fast they do with that. Because at the beginning, I noticed that the Skil was able to kind of beat the Milwaukee up to about 9-10 psi. Then after that, the Milwaukee was able to catch it and then just kind of was outpacing it the whole way. So with the Milwaukee, you could see too that the screen lights up more than the Skil does. And however, the Skil screen I think would be better suited for kind of all around use, day or night, with having the letters and the numbers light up, versus the Milwaukee when it's like this. It's pretty easy to see at night, or during the day, excuse me. But then at night with the whole screen backlit, it's definitely pretty easy to see. I know I have a previous video when I first got this tool that I reviewed on it. Other than that, both of these tools, you can obviously put bigger batteries in. The Milwaukee, you can get up to a 6 amp hour battery. And so in theory, you should get about 2 to 3 times the runtime on this. So if you have, let's say 2 tires in this instance that are, flat or almost flat, with a 6 amp hour battery, you should be able to inflate both of them with this guy. I would imagine, though, that after a certain point, you might overheat this tool, so to have to shut off and cool down. Versus the Skil, this one's pretty warm, but to me, it doesn't feel nearly as warm or hot as the Milwaukee is, even though it ran for a longer time. And with the Skil, however, you're only able to get up to a 4 amp hour battery. So this is just a little 2 amp hour battery. And in theory, I could probably let this battery cool down for a little bit, and I could restart the tool, and I could probably get it pretty close to that 40 psi mark. And probably the same thing with the Milwaukee. If you let everything cool down, kind of reset, you should get pretty close if you're in a pinch. Other than that, I will put links for both of these tools in the description. Like I said, this tool I bought off of Amazon, so this will have an Amazon link. And this one I bought from Home Depot, so I'll have a Home Depot link. And I'm not 100% sure on the pricing off the top of my head, but I think they're pretty close, evenly priced. I do believe the Skil on Amazon, if you want this inflator as like a tool-only type deal, it comes with a battery and a charger, so it's probably going to be more expensive than the Milwaukee, because I do believe the Milwaukee you can either buy just the inflator, or you can buy the inflator kit, which comes with a battery and a charger. So I'll try to find, if they're both kits, I'll find, the kit price. But other than that, excellent tools, great for bringing camping or having like in your car or your camper or something like that if you need an inflator for something. I use this a ton. For example, I use the Milwaukee a bunch when I was driving truck to top off my truck tires in the wintertime, because in the winter the air tends to seep out of the tires. So having this, I can go around, throw it on my truck tires, inflate them up, pump them up real quick before the beginning of my day. So this is real handy. And it's going to be the same with this guy. Quick attach makes it a lot more convenient to use versus the Milwaukee. So I wish the Milwaukee had the quick attach, because then this would be my go-to every time. But either one is a good option if you're looking for a small inflator that you can throw, in your car or on even your motorcycle. Something small like this is pretty nice. But that is all I got for you guys in this one, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.